to the first and very special edition of the Posted Up Podcast. I'm your host, Larry Jordan, and in this series, we're going to delve or dig deeper into the life journey and story of the renowned announcer, Van Jones. I was tasked with this interview as a final project in my broadcasting and production class, and I personally ran into Van when he visited Lane College before homecoming. I thought to myself, why not do my renowned announcer project on the renowned announcer that's black, from the same community that I go to school in, has history on this campus that I go to school in. It was just kind of clicking all at one time. Like, why not just do Van Jones? So I'm doing Van Jones. Going back to when I met Jones, he had the campus in an uproar, and I personally didn't know who he was or what he did until I saw him in person for the first time. So, me being the alpha that I am and wanting to talk to everybody, I stayed behind when everybody was gone to introduce myself to him. And I informed him that I didn't know who he was or what he did until I just saw him now. So I asked him, can you tell me more about yourself? He looked at me just like this. He said, man, you crazy as hell. You crazy as hell. Man, take your phone out and look me up on Google. Google will tell you everything you need to know about me. I'm famous, man. So I took that personal. I'm not gonna lie to you, I took that personal for two reasons though. One, I was out of storage on my phone. Shout out iPhone. Even though I probably shouldn't be shouting them out right now. But I ran out of storage on my phone and it'll cut on and off whenever it wanted to. Like, I could be calling somebody or texting somebody, it'll just shut off completely, like restart type stuff. So I didn't feel like embarrassing myself in front of Van Jones. It's Van Jones. I didn't feel like embarrassing myself in front of him. The second reason is I've never had nobody to tell me to pull my phone out and Google them. That's just something different. I can't wait till I get famous to be able to say that. Man, put your phone down, look me up. Man, that's something different that you say to somebody. That's something that like you pull out your pocket. That's like a play, you feel me? So me being honest, I told him I would look you up, but my phone doesn't work. So can you tell me who you are? And he switched the subject and he started asking me. He was like, so tell me about yourself. What do you do? So I told him that I'm a mass communication major here at Lane College, and I'm an ambassador and social media influencer for several brands, clothing brands. Another brand that I'm mainly an ambassador for is Cricket Wireless. So this dude stopped me in the middle of me introducing myself to him, and he said, hold on. How are you a Cricket Wireless ambassador and your phone don't work? So I'm like, wait, hold on, Van. You're not gonna talk about my Cricket, because Cricket take care of me. So we're here not to talk about me. We're not here to talk about Cricket. We're here to talk about you. I understand that you grew up in this area and you have a lot of history that goes on the Lane College campus. Tell me what it was like growing up here. And he looks at me again, like I guess he thought I was crazy or something. He was like, bro, you gotta be joking with me. So like, you playing with me or something like that? Where the cameras? This a prank or something? You really don't know who Van Jones is. The Van Jones. You don't know who I am. I'm like, does ring a bell. So he's like, you mean to tell me that you're a mass communication major and you work in the media and you don't know anything about Van Jones? I guess that kind of pissed him off. Long story short, he gives me his contact information and he tells me, contact me. This is what I want you to do. I want you to whenever you get your phone and stuff situated, I want you to go type in on Google, Van Jones. And I just want you to look up and just see all the stuff that's tied to my name. I want you to understand who I am. And once you do that, I want you to call me. I want you to contact me and tell me that you did it. When you do, text me that this is the guy who didn't know who he was so I can remember. I'm like, cool, cool. So I take out my little notepad. He give me his phone number. I take out my notepad, write his phone number down. And days later, after I did some research and digging around, I contacted him. And here's what he said. I said, hey, how are you doing, Mr. Jones? My name is Larry Joe, the guy who didn't know who you were when you did an interview at Lane. I did like you asked and looked you up on Google to see who you were, and I found some pretty interesting things. I understand you may be busy, so give me a call when you get a chance. But he texts back like, I could tell this is how he was looking. He said, of course I'm busy. What do you want me to call you about? So I'm like, dang, bro, why you doing me like this? I'm like, I'm just following directions like you told me to and contacted you when I figured out who you were. But I would like to request an interview with you for my final project in my broadcast course to delve into your life journey, inspirations, downfalls, and how you bounce back from them to get to your current endeavors. Seeing you be successful lets me know that I too can be successful, and your insights and experiences is something that our community of black men needs to see and hear to let us know that we too can do the same thing. So I guess that kind of intrigued him. I don't know if he knew that I was that type of intellectual or something like that. So he said, what sources did you find about me already? I said, you're an American news and political commentator, author, lawyer, 3 times New York Times best-selling author, a CNN host and contributor, an Emmy Awards winner. You're also the founder and co-founder of several non-profit organizations such as the Ella Baker Center for Human Rights, Color of Change, and the Dream Course. I'm thinking that I'm really doing something now. But I'm like, yeah, I didn't hit him with some stuff that, yeah, he did. You feel me? I done looked it up. I did like he asked. So I'm thinking I'm in the door. I'm gonna get this interview with him. I'm gonna get an A on my final project. And yeah, this is how we gonna go. He texts me back, dig deeper, son. So I'm like, dig deeper? I just did so much research before I contacted you. So I'm like, a black man from the same small town I go to college in is accomplishing all of these feats. It's something honestly astonishing. All the time we talk about success is hard to find in the black community, yet we have somebody who's made it and still making it right under our nose, and we aren't even aware of it. This needs to be talked about. So I'm trying to entice him to do the interview. I'm like, come on, man, do the interview with me, man. Just do the interview with me. He said, dig deeper, son. What you found is what anyone can find with a simple Google search. Impress me. I took that personally too. Cause you challenging me. And I like a challenge. Ain't nothing like a good old challenge. So I said, you know what? You're right. Dig deeper. So I got in contact with his grandmother and basically told her about my dilemma, what's going on. And she was happy to see that I was actually going through with this. And she told me that God blessed me. Thank you, Miss Kirkendall. And she gave me the contact information to his sister and his cousin. So, Mr. Van, I'm gonna dig deeper like you told me to. Let's see what kind of information that we can find from your sister and your cousin that can impress you. Let's see.
What does your shirt say?
My shirt says underestimated. Underestimated Studios. I'm originally from Little Rock, Arkansas, and my sister is a barber. This is her barber studio name. That's her shop name.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that. That's sharp.
Thank you. I want to make sure I tell her to take this branding more serious because it's a nice design. I like it.
It is. It is very. I like that.
I'm going to go ahead and introduce myself. Welcome back to the first and very special edition of the Posted Up Podcast. I'm your host, Larry Joe. And today's segment, we're going to be digging a little deeper. To begin with, I appreciate you guys for taking out time. This really does mean a lot to me. For real, to get this final accomplished and turn it in and be done with this semester, it means a lot to me for real. So can you guys introduce yourselves?
I'm Angela Jones. I'm Van Jones' twin sister. That's my intro.
Y'all look just alike.
Kayfield Kirkendall, Van Jones, first cousin, and Angela Jones, first cousin.
That's what's up. We gonna go ahead and jump right into it. We're gonna talk about his early life and upbringing. Can you describe what it is the Kirkendall family and the Jones family? What is their family like?
I would say that there was a great emphasis on education, church life. Bill can probably tell you more about the conferences and stuff. I know Big Daddy took them on the voice, on the conferences with the church and stuff. Um, just a lot of emphasis on being people of good character.
Being a good character and education.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What kind of early experiences in his childhood shaped his personality with the education and emphasis on character? Capel, do you think you got something to say?
Um, the character, like going to the different conferences, church conferences. We were presented as Bishop Kirkendall's grandson. So we're right there where everybody sees us and trying to do everything for us, but they want to please the bishop.
What was it like always being in the spotlight? Because I have an LB and he grew up in the church, like always being in the spotlight. What was it like being in the spotlight all the time with him?
I was.
Did you?
Sometimes you're gonna have to walk on eggshells.
I can feel it.
But for us, especially being the grandkids, we were going to the conference at 13, 14, 15. So it was a lot of fun because we met different people from up north in the Detroit, Michigan area, Kansas City, St. Louis. We was down south in Jackson, Tennessee, and they thought we was country.
Yeah. Miss Angela, what can you say? Growing up in the church along with your brother, what kind of experiences did you all gain together?
I wasn't as big on going to church as my brother was. We sang in the choir, and I did a lot of the smaller church traveling kind of stuff. We go to the different churches and that kind of thing. But I think I learned the most was to be able to make people feel comfortable. Because see, the boys hung out with my grandfather, and the girls hung out with my grandmother.
Okay.
So we had the opportunity to learn how to like be compassionate and make people feel special and all that. What are they? Hospitality kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of, I don't want to. We did the ego boosting. Oh, y'all look so nice. What did y'all learn today? Who did you talk to today? That kind of stuff. And the boys were like being macho and looking good in their suits and learning how to be, present themselves to the public and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, and they were good at it. The three of them were really close growing up, and I think that they were able to nurture the best in each other. It's K-Bell, Chester, and my brother. And so they learned how to be a team for each other when they were in those settings.
Okay. So I understand that you said your grandmother was taught you compassion. Miss Alice. She taught you compassion.
Oh yeah.
How was she?
If my grandmother was talking to you, you were the most important person in the room. She had
giving her full attention to whoever
Mhm.
she's speaking to. I
Mhm.
like that. So
Mhm.
so you think that could shape on why he wanted to pursue speaking publicly and stuff like that?
I think it has a lot to do with it. And let me throw this in there.
Hmm.
My brother was a nerd growing up. He and KPL can attest to now. He might not say nothing, but listen, he was not athletic. He was not, all those things that boys are. He wasn't that. He loved to read. He loved comic books. Superman was his favorite superhero, and he still is. It was because Anthony was a nerd. He got teased a lot. He got bullied a lot, and so he learned to use his mind to develop like a world of his own, and he could envision things past what we have right now. He had a picture for what life should be like for people. And so he spent a lot of time just trying to hone that skill of being able to see both sides of a situation and try to find out what would make it good for everybody involved.
So
Now,
I'm sorry.
grandmommy, they call her Big Mama, I call her Grandma, had a way of providing some safety for him to be able to kind of explore that part of himself more.
Oh, couldn't nobody touch him, man. Ain't nothing like that grandma can touch you for sure. That's grandma, baby. Can't nobody touch him. I
That's
understand.
right.
I feel good. What were some of the things that he used to get bullied about?
He was tall. Well, I was taller than him for a very long time, but he was skinny. He wore glasses. He just didn't. He wasn't into sports. He wasn't. He just, you name it, and it was probably something he got bullied for. You know.
What
It was
grade?
just
What grade or what age do you think that really started it?
forever.
It's been forever.
It was rough being him growing up. It was, yeah.
Fred,
Yeah.
you have you seen Dan ever get bullied before?
No, because especially in junior high and elementary, we went to different schools.
What's
And then plus they're 2 years older than I am.
okay?
So I got to JCM, they were seniors and I was a sophomore.
What
But see, we was in this lip singing group, so we were big time.
I was in the lip syncing group.
Yes.
What was the name? What was the name of the group?
The time.
The Time.
Like Morris Day and the Time.
Oh yeah. That's smooth. That's smooth.
No, so we did concerts.
it's the sense of loyalty. So that's a type of personal value belief. Was this personal value instilled in Van as he was younger? We're gonna segue into personal values and belief because that's actually one of the next topics. So what were some of the personal values and beliefs that was like the culture of the family or the culture of his friends that was just ingrained in him since he was younger?
Well, it's two of us. It's me and him.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that my parents constantly said was, in the end, it's just the two of you. If you can't depend on each other, you can't depend on anybody. So that was just all it was to it. My brother could have been wrong as two left shoes. I had his back. Now, hey, I might scrap with him when we got home, but you weren't gonna touch him. That's just the way that it was. And I remember when we were younger, me and K-Pale and Chester were younger. Like my mom would take us over to their house and we'd hang out over there. And so the guys, they'd be running around outside and stuff, and I'd be in the house trying to get grown people business. You know how that goes.
Yeah, I know how it is.
Even though K-Pale was younger than Van, he was more confident in some ways. He was involved in athletics and stuff like that. What I remember, and K-Pale may not remember it this way, but what I remember was K-Pale never let anybody pick on him. And it might be that was just, we're family. And so you just didn't, you can think whatever you want to think, say whatever you want to say, but it was safe to go to K-Pale's house because, and Van, y'all call him Van, I'm trying to remember to say Van. Van had somebody who had his back when I wasn't around to have his back.
Right.
Now that was just common family. You don't, even if we're gonna have to beat you up when you get home.
Sometimes that's what it gets to. Sometimes they have to get
in
to
the
it.
street.
Yeah.
In the street, it's us against them.
So how do you think these values and beliefs and influences shape his personal and professional choices?
I know that one of the things that's important to Anthony is that things are fair. So everything about, like when he went to UT Martin, I think it was the first time he realized that people could really be racist for real, for real. Like he actually experienced people making judgments about him in his face, based on his blackness. And that really kind of flipped him. It confused him. And so that's when he started on the kind of activism aspect. And he and some of his friends put together a newspaper on campus. And it was just, it turned him in the direction of recognizing that things could be more fair for people, and trying to find out ways to make it be more fair became very important to him.
So now we're gonna segue into significant events because I think this is something that's significant that definitely directed his path towards where he is today. So what was, if you don't mind me asking, what was that significant event with the that was racist that was like, what, this
I don't remember exactly what it was. I do know that he and there were some students, what was his name? Jeff Cross, I think it was a student at Tennessee State University. And then his girlfriend at the time's name was Monica, and Monica was going to Vanderbilt. And the three of them made a what do they call it, an intra-campus student body association. And their entire focus was on dealing with racism on college campuses. They had a newspaper. My brother almost got expelled from UT Martin because of a newspaper that he and David Matai put together. It was called The Third Eye. And that one was the one that was between the campuses. I
He's always had somebody in his corner fighting for him. We gonna segue into mentors and role models, cause I'm noticing that he always has somebody in his corner, no matter like this type of circumstance. So can you share with me details about like the different type of mentors that played an influence in his life?
Well, I know first it comes Uncle Willie and Aunt Loretta, Angela and his mother and father. Those were his first role models and mentors. And then along, when we was growing up, then it was, I don't want to say big call my big head, Bishop Kirkendall
This Kirkendall.
and Alice Kirkendall, And then he did also look up to my dad, KPL Senior, and then his Uncle Willie's brother.
Milton.
Well,
And then there were bishops in the church. He loved Elan Brown and Bishop Graves. He loved them. And then there were different teachers and things that he had throughout high school, throughout college. I can't remember all the names, but what I do know is that all of those people saw something special in him. And I don't know what the special thing was, but all of them knew that he could go further and do more, and they invested their time and their energy and their emotional labor in making sure that he felt supported and could take those chances and risks.
So, well, I remember Kate Pell Jr. You said that y'all went to high school together at JCM.
Right. Yes.
Was there any teacher specifically in his high school that he looked up to or was close to that you could visibly see?
No, because like JCM was so big back then, he would have class on one side of the campus, and I'd be on the other side, so we really didn't see each other.
Y'all never really crossed paths like this.
Right.
So now we're gonna move on to his personal challenges and how he overcomes adversity. So we just talked about significant events and how he always had people who saw something in him. You don't know what it is, but you know it's something special, and they always saw favor in him. So when personal challenges and adversity arise, how did that affect his mental and how did he handle it? Or have you seen him handle it?
I think for me, the biggest adversity that I saw him, there's been various things here and there, but I think the thing that was the biggest was when he had to leave Obama's White House in 2008. My papa died in
spiritual trip or something like that.
Mhm.
Okay,
Mhm.
okay. So he's into to spirituality and being in touch with
Mhm.
himself. Well, especially
Mhm.
I can okay. So you explaining that situation with the White House and then him taking the trips. That kind of
Right.
that probably hurt him a lot.
Yeah. It was very. It hurt him a lot. Yeah. But he came back, I think, with a different perspective and a different focus, um, and a different, I think, clarity about who he was and what his purpose was. He's just, you know, not everybody can do what he does. Everybody has their lane, and his happens to be he can see both sides of the coin, and so then people misunderstand where he's coming from. So you can make an argument for one something and make an argument against the same thing. And what he'll say is, okay, this part of what you're saying makes sense. And this part of what the other person is saying makes sense. So why don't we take those two things and put them together? And it doesn't have to be an all or nothing thing all the time.
Compromise.
Yeah. And most people don't want to compromise because then, you know.
It feel like you lost it. Then. You can't. It feel like
Right.
if I can't get my way all the way, then I done lost it. Then.
Right.
So
And so, he wrote some books on the green dollar. I think it's called the green dollar economy, and talked about how it would benefit inner city youth to teach them jobs on how to retrofit houses for solar panels, and that's part of the way that he and Prince got hooked up, because Prince wanted to work with him on that and how to teach inner city youth coding. So basically what happened was he shifted gears. He had to take a minute, sit down for a minute and get it together. But he also was looking for where do we go now? He wasn't willing to just be defeated by what had happened. He wanted to figure out what the new direction was supposed to be.
So I remember you saying something about him writing. He writes a lot. What other type of alternatives that he uses to kind of express himself? What have y'all seen? I've seen that he's also artistic with the lip syncing musically. So what is stuff that he does to explain himself or get people to understand him better or him to understand himself better?
He used to be into cartoons. He used to draw, and I really wish he would go back to drawing. He used to draw, and he'd make little comic strips, which I miss that. I wish he would go back to doing that. He does a lot of meditating. He's got a support group, when he's struggling, when he's trying to figure stuff out, he'll call me, he'll call Uncle Milton. Shoot, I think sometimes he calls KPL. Those people that have loved him before he was banned, before he was the best-selling author, before he was on CNN, you know what I mean?
That's what this is what we're trying to get him out. We want to know I want to know who was banned before banned. You feel me? He don't want to open up about that. He don't want to talk. Yeah. Can I share with both of you all about how we crossed paths? So he was doing an interview here in Lane like a week before homecoming, and he was on our plot. So I kind of hung around a little while just to see like who is this guy? Everybody talking about, oh, Ben Jones here. Ben Jones here. He over there doing an interview on y'all plot. Man, I gotta go over there and look. So I'm over there like, look, Ben Jones. Who is this Ben Jones guy? I look him up on Google, and he tells me that he's a CNN. He all these different accolades, and I'm just. And this guy here on Lane, so I'm trying to see what's the connection that I connected that Kirkendall was his grandfather, and the history of Kirkendall here at Lane. He's Lane, almost. So I hung around and introduced myself to him, and I was like, yeah, pretty much. I'm like, yeah, I don't know who you are. And that kind of hit. He looked at me, he was like, Man, pull it, man. You crazy, man. Pull out your phone and Google me. Like, Google my name, bro. It'll tell you who I am. Like, yeah, it's crazy. My phone didn't work at the time because I had a whole bunch of storage. So I was full of storage. I didn't have no more. It would cut on and off whenever it wanted to. So I informed them. I was like, my phone cuts on and off, so I don't feel like pulling it out right now. I don't want it to cut off in front of you. That's embarrassing, man. I'm just asking you who you are. I'm asking like what is it that got you to the point to where you are, and you from this same city that I go to school in? It's real small country. I'm from Little Rock, Arkansas, so that's not saying too much, but but you're from this small city, and you doing all of these things. And you talking, I'm sitting here talking to you, everybody talking to you, talking about you like you're some distant figure, but you really just a person and a human I want to get to understand. You looked at me again crazy, you're like, bro, you crazy. You really ain't gonna pull out your phone and Google my name? Like I'm famous, like I'm real deal famous. I'm a big deal around here. I'm probably the biggest thing walking in Tennessee right now. I'm like, what? So he was like, man, you know what? I like it. Take your notepad out and write my number down. And once you get to somewhere where you can figure out who I am, I want you to call me. So I hit his line Saturday, trying to get this interview that I'm doing with y'all. I'm trying to get the interview with him, telling him that I looked up all this stuff about him, and I'm thinking that that's gonna be it. I'm thinking I got the interview locked in. He gonna be interested. He said, man, anybody can get this stuff. Man, you gotta dig deeper, man. You gotta dig deeper. Like this stuff you can easily find on Google. Man, you gotta impress me for real. Dig deeper. So I said, you know what? You right. You right. I like being challenged. That's one thing. I like being challenged. So I got in contact with Miss Kirkendall at the Lane College football game, senior night, and got in contact with y'all. And the whole essence of this interview is to understand who is Van Jones before he was Van Jones. If I can impress him, if I can give him some information about him before he was Van Jones. I know I can do that. I can do that. So we're gonna get ready and wrap up. We got like a couple more sections left. I thank you guys for tuning in. And I thank you guys for helping me so far. So we're gonna.
Well, let me tell you this.
Yes, ma'am.
I talked to him today, and I said, you have to forgive me, I'm 55 years old, so let me preface it with this. I said, now this little boy, they called me and wants to talk to me about you, but I don't know what he wants. Anthony said, okay, he got some hustle. So I was like, okay, so he said, just talk to him, you know, he said, I gotta say, I'm impressed with the hustle. Yeah. So, if that makes you feel any better.
It definitely makes me feel something. I love the hustle. I'm addicted to it. So I appreciate that, Dan. Don't think that this is over just because she told me that. I'm gonna get this interview with you before it's over. Look, we're gonna get ready to transition into his educational background. So you telling me that these racist events and stuff like that transpired when he was in college. Obviously that shaped him wanting to go into the political field almost. So let's see. How
actually he would have graduated from UT Martin with 2 degrees, one in political science and one in journalism. But he waited on me. So anyway, he went from there to Yale.
So he went from UT Martin to Yale?
Yeah. So he got his law degree from Yale.
What? Now you gotta have some type of confidence to get into that. Not only confidence, but you gotta be smart. So what was did you see his preparation to make that transition?
Yeah. When we graduated from high school, he went to Martin. And as much as he was impressed by your hustle, my brother hustled. He went from the time he left here and went to UT Martin. My brother really hasn't lived in into his freshman year, he had an opportunity to do an internship that summer with a newspaper somewhere, I don't remember where. So he did that, went back to school, and he was double majoring the entire time he was in school. Yeah, he was double majoring the whole time. And every summer, he would do an internship somewhere. He was in Shreveport one summer. He was in California one summer. He was all over everywhere. So once he graduated from college, one of his professors, Dr. Oz, I think his name was, encouraged him to go to law school. So when he applied to go to Yale, his resume, pre-law school resume was so, impressive
It was like,
that he wound up at Yale. And so once he got there, he still was doing internships in the summer at different organizations, different law, related things. There was something in California that he went to, and they were actually helped to get some police officers kicked off of the police force because of their history of excessive use of force. So they were the first, him and a couple of other people, I don't remember like the exact minute details, but that's like the first check mark on his civil rights activism trail is getting those police officers put off of the police force, which had not ever happened in the area before.
And that's probably something that's very like astonishing for a black man to do at that. So what is like an achievement that I understand that he's always been in the spotlight growing up doing church. What makes him always want to take that step forward and never to be afraid to take that step forward? Who was always pushing him even when he was scared? He would stay there. So who's that somebody? It was your mom.
Yeah, I'm around.
She said, "Boy, you better get up there and do it." That's what she said.
He just couldn't, first of all, if he showed the least bit of interest in something, she was going to figure out a way to get him involved in it. Just the least little bit of interest. He was and is very smart. And opportunities would come up, like there was the Government Schools for Humanities, that he went to that during high school. There was a youth and government program that, every summer they would go to Nashville and pretend to be the Nashville Congress. So he learned how the political system worked. He learned how to express himself more succinctly and clearly in writing. Mom just always, and it wasn't an excuse to be scared. Scared just meant you were doing something you had never done before.
So it's not being scared, it's more being nervous. Oh, you didn't lift it. Oh, he even lift this. Oh, there you go. So it was never about him being scared, it was him being nervous. So mama instilled in him confidence. And he wears that confidence to this day.
She's being generous too. She pushed him off. Twin sister pushed him off.
I couldn't imagine that. I could imagine that. She ain't let nobody mess with him. I know she always pushing him forward and motivating for sure. So that's a solid interview to me. I can go on the current life and career, but you can look that stuff up on Google. You can look all of that up on Google. I appreciate both of y'all for taking out time to help me accomplish this. This is gonna be something amazing to put on my resume for the internet to see and for my peers to see here at this school to see that there's greatness here. And I just appreciate y'all. I'm just really lost for words. I've never imagined myself doing something like this. I don't know where you ever had what's a saying that's in your family that's like just so significant you always go back to it? that you know that you just live by. Mine is walk by faith and not by sight.
Yeah.
I know one that was she always said, you can live in hell for a year if you know you're
you're gonna get out.
I like that one. I've never heard that one. You can live in hell for a year, you know you're gonna get out.
That's right.
I'm not even gonna steal that, bro. I use that. I'm gonna use that for sure. I can't.
And you know what, JBL? I think all 6 of us know they're saying, and I think we've all come to some point where we're struggling. It's like, Big Mama used to say you can live in hell for a year, you know you're gonna get out.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
That's to know we gonna leave on that note. That's something to live by every day. Oh, I like that. That's spiritual. That hit different for sure. Thank you all for your time, Miss Angela Capel.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
You all
Have a
enjoy
good night, baby.
You all enjoy the rest of your night.
Okay, you too.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.
How y'all think that interview went? Man, I'm like ecstatic right now, bro. What? This feels like the start of something. The start of something new. Like you ever get this feeling that something new is about to happen, something big is coming. You don't know what it is. You'll never know what it is. But like when it hits you, it is like I'm here. You just sit back and just be like, whoa, bro. I'm really doing stuff that I never imagined myself doing.